Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast that we do 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can always catch the video version of this on the Miguel and Holly YouTube channel. You can also check out some of our other podcasts as we enter into summer season. Holly, what are some of the other podcasts that we have?
All right, so you can catch up with all the blown-offs you desire. I mean, you know, they happen every day on our show, but you can go to the iHeartRadio app and just search for Miguel and Holly Blown Off and listen to all of them. You can also do the same thing with Queen City Confessions and get all your fill of all the secrets and the scandal. That's my personal favorite. Or you can just find Miguel and Holly Full Show Podcast, which is both the entire show minus commercials and songs, just all together. And also every individual little segment that we do broken down into its own little thing. So if you're not if you're not listening to us, but you want to be, like, it's because you didn't try. And I'm sorry. I'm trying to put the onus on you, but everything, like Kelvin goes to such great lengths to put every single thing online
separately.
The least you could do is just give it a listen.
Do it.
Yeah, it's
Please.
fun. It's all there. It's fun.
Yeah, tell a friend.
Good
and
content.
No, we don't get paid for it.
No.
Let that be known.
I mean,
because you know, sometimes people promote
part of
things.
the job, but
right. Because you know, sometimes people promote things and you're thinking, oh well, you know, they're gonna get a penny per stream. No, we don't.
No.
Not even that.
No.
We're
No.
just
No. We just
providing.
We know that if you are here, you like our show, and we're trying to give you as much content as well. That's true. I guess you could be hate watching. But if you're hate watching, you might want to hate binge listen.
Options, baby. Options.
Yes. So please do. We would greatly appreciate it, and it will help us. And speaking of, I'm gonna do a little ad right here.
Oh.
Here we go. Hi, my name is Miguel Fuller. If you love cookies like I do, you should get over to honeybearbakeshop.com. They are an online cookie boutique. They release their orders their new flavors every Monday. You place your orders by Wednesday. You can either pick them up if you're in Charlotte, or they can ship them to you no matter where you are. honeybearbakeshop.com. All right, so here's what I wanted to get into.
Okay.
Random. Okay.
Oh, use code word Miguel for 10% off. I wanted to get a little bit more into the topic we talked about in the 9 o'clock hour yesterday about orgasms.
Oh, well,
it's that kind of podcast. All
thank
right.
God it's a Friday.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's a podcast, biatch.
Hey, really quick
Uncensored.
before we get into orgasms.
Save that.
Oh man, sometimes I forget this is live on the social media. Anyway, would it be at all beneficial to talk about the fact that I have seen more exclusionary posts about Pride this year than I have in years past?
Mm.
No, it would not.
No, we can talk about
not
it.
now. I mean, that doesn't have to be today. We have an entire a joyful month to go through.
I was gonna say because I've had a few Miguel and Holly fan members reach out and just different political things we've talked about recently, and I was like, maybe I should stop trying, because I know that I can go down and talk reality. I don't want to say bring you into the muck, because life is scary, and for gay people right now, it can be really scary. And even during Pride Month, where people have been emboldened to be like, well, F Pride, why do we need Pride? And we're not doing rainbows and things like that. And it can be a little tiresome as a gay person to every time that you're trying to celebrate, you see somebody trying to drag you down.
Right.
But we can go there because, you know, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I've had the same thoughts this week, Holly. Like I saw what Miguel posted on his Insta story, the Axios Charlotte post, and just reading those comments. I also follow Hollywood Unlocked, which is a really great resource for like trending news on Instagram. Their followers are fucking awful. Not all of them, obviously, but when it comes to trans related topics, or something happens and it's a trans crime, or it's pop culture and it's gay related, constant hate through the comments. And it really did get me in my feelings. So it's funny that you bring that up, because I had the same thoughts.
I was wondering, I was like, maybe this is just one of those things that lives online and not in the real world. But I don't know.
No, it does.
Because it's very discouraging.
Yeah.
And like, who am I to say anything about it, really? Like, I mean, I consider myself an ally. But it makes me also feel like this year more than ever, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go to Pride. Like, I'll stay my happy ass at home because I don't want to infringe. But anyway, we don't have to get into this right now.
No. Well, wait, hold on. No, I want to address that real quick. Wait, no.
We should put that somewhere.
No, we're here, so I'm ready. Fuck orgasms.
He's not horny anymore. He's not horny anymore.
No, now you got me. I'm lit up now. Well, just because I have a real world example of how the rhetoric can turn into real life situations. But first off, I want to say that you should absolutely go to Pride. We as gay people and everyone in the LGBTQIA plus need our allies more than ever to speak up for us in rooms where we are not, or rooms that we are afraid to speak up in. So the Axios article that
I didn't see that. So Kelvin, you had mentioned it, but I didn't see it.
So Axios Charlotte, I think there's an Axios Tampa too. But here it's really, really big, where they send out like a daily newsletter about here are all the things happening in Charlotte. And it's a very millennial Gen Z digestible thing that they do a great job of covering all things in the city, not just hard news. And their social media is very robust as well. And they did a post of like, happy Pride. Here are some events that you can go to celebrate Pride Month here in Charlotte. And so, of course, like we all do, we probably should not. You go into the comments.
The comments are the worst.
And this particularly on this one, because most people in these comments are like, because there's so many people on the Axios Charlotte Instagram, most posts they put, you're going to see somebody being like, F Charlotte, why are they building all these new places? Or there's always something negative. A complaint about something. But this one was particularly grotesque because you had people being like, why are the pedos having a celebration around these places? If you take your kids to these events, don't
take your kids.
Right. Or if you do, you're basically saying you want your kids to be molested. Right. I mean, it was that type of comment, not like a why they're straight pride. I mean, these were like super derogatory comments.
Unfollowing was like the nicest, probably.
Right. Because there are people that are like, gonna unfollow. I'm like, girl, they've got like over 100,000 followers. Like, bye. They'll need your little crusty ass follow. So that's what people in Charlotte saw. And there were a couple people, our Charlotte fan members, that because I shared that post to my story and I was like, well, this is sad to see these comments like this. And some Charlotte people were like, I'm really sad because this isn't my city. Like, this isn't what I know of Charlotte to be. It's, from my experiences, has been a welcoming, warm place for all types of people. Those are the comments that people in Charlotte said to me. So let me tell you a story about how those sort of comments can materialize in real fucking life. So I had a long conversation with a friend of mine who has gone through transition surgery. And they posted this week on their Facebook page. I'm not going to give any details about who they are and where they are, but they were staying in a hotel room to recuperate after having surgery, their transitional surgery. And they just happened, they were alone because nobody could get the time to be with them and sit with them as they were going through the recuperation process. So they're staying in this hotel room, and one of their friends helped them get from the hospital to the hotel. And so they put the hotel room in the friend's name when they got there. So then after a couple of days, the friend, with catheter in hand, going to the front desk to change over the reservation to their name. Well, the hotel clerk was like, well, I need a real ID. Well, this friend has gone through a transition, and so they don't have a paper or real ID right now. It's only a digital ID. And they're like, no, we need a real ID. And they're like, well, I don't have one. And clearly, I'm not in a space right now to like go back and forth with you. I've just had major surgery. I can't be on my feet right now. And the people there were the rudest, most vile human experience that you could ever feel when someone's going through one of the most painful, life-changing operations, which should be a moment of joy and pride as you're going through the healing process, because you're finally getting to live your true, authentic self.
Right.
So as the person is sitting here trying to be like, I have the money, I have my ID, I just need to go back to my room and lay down. They were so rude, call a manager. The manager was rude, treating this person like they were crazy and they were a dog. As blood is fucking running down their leg and they're holding their catheter bag in them. And so people are walking by seeing my friend distressed in tears, being like, I'm not a crazy person. I just need to go back to my room and lay down. Nobody would help. She turned around and she's like, can someone please help me? And some guy was just like, I don't want to get involved, and kept walking. This is what fucking dangerous rhetoric that we have in our country turns into. That people treat trans people who literally are just trying to recuperate and trying to heal themselves so they can live their authentic selves. Just live. This is what it turns into. This is why we need pride. Thankfully, as my friend went back to the hotel, slowly walked back to their hotel room, some very nice people helped them back to the room, paid for a night in the room. But then my friend was bleeding, and now, because you can't stand on your feet after you have surgery, took them to the hospital.
Wow.
So thankfully, there are nice people and the helpers are there.
Right.
But the fact that between the clerk, the manager, and then several people that walked by who didn't help, that's where we fucking are in our country.
There's
because
such
of the
a
rhetoric.
lack of humanity, and
Yes.
Also even not even in like that's a tragic situation, but not only in like deeply like this is life or death.
Right.
Even in just everyday interactions, people are just not like the customer service of helping each other. And I don't even mean from business to client. I just mean helping each other out. Seems to be really lacking.
100%. I will say, well, and so all this was happening and I didn't find out about it until I got on social media that night and I saw her post, and it was a very panicked, still coming down from the morphine and all that stuff. And she's just literally standing outside the hotel like, I don't, like, I need help and I'm here by myself. So some other friends of ours, we were all trying to see, who do we know where she lives, what resources do we have? Thankfully, like I said, those strangers took her to the hospital. She was able to get help. Everything is fine. Yesterday, we got to catch up and have a long conversation. And she's like, I'm just going to put that in the old me life, and I'm just not even going to focus on that. I'm moving forward because now I'm truly living in my authentic self, in my authentic body, and I'm happy and I'm focusing on that. And I was like, I'm so glad, but I want to be hell on wheels for you though. And let's get some fucking action done, because that was cruel.
Sue them.
Literally. But that's where we are. So when people say those comments of like, ew, those are pedos, those are creepy, they're prying on your children. And I'm like, why don't you have that energy for the clergymen, for the coaches that do this shit? Why, like, where's the news story of a trans person, of a drag queen doing anything with a child?
Well, it's all just rhetoric. It's all fed down from some other bullshit that is meant to divide us.
100%. You have these think tanks on the right who are like, what's the new, like, literally that's what they do. They test issues. They're like, what's an issue that we can drive a wedge in to get our base, who may not know a trans person, or back in the day a gay person, that's going to get them riled up. And that's what they do. And so you have these populations of people that are literally she said to me, I'm just happy that I can now finally walk into the grocery store and be myself.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all she's fucking trying to do. She ain't trying to do nothing else. I'm off my soapbox.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I'm a little like, last year, my fiance Oscar, we were living in Uptown, and he had put up the pride flag on our window, and I was like, we got 2 poppin' bars on our first floor. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. He's like, I don't care. I'm fucking putting it up. And I was like, all right. Nothing untoward happened. We were fine. I don't know why I live more now in a suburban area of town. I'm where I have not put up my pride flag. I don't know why I'm still a little worried. And that's really sad. I shouldn't have to feel scared to put up a flag.
Right.
Obviously, that doesn't compare to your friend.
Right. But still,
and
the fact
thing,
that you have to live in fear, and this is the thing that I
Mhm.
continually try to tell people that, now, granted, in my life now, I don't run into a lot of people that interact with me that don't believe in pride. But when I do see those comments, I'm like, that is why we need it. The fact that, like, if Holly wanted to put up a Panthers flag or whatever's flag, there is absolutely zero thought of my life is in danger if I put up that, or if you whatever the case may be. But the fact that you're just trying to be like, hey, I have pride and I just want to tell other people this is a safe space. The fact that you fear that is why we still have pride.
Right.
And that is why it's still important to continue to show people that this rhetoric has a real life consequence.
Yes. And as the addendum to that, because I didn't start off in that vein necessarily, but I'm really glad that you brought it up because it's so important. And I want to make sure that like the people that go to like pride parades or pride festivals or whatever, is that it continues to be inclusive.
Right.
Because especially now with what you're talking about, why are we trying to exclude people from pride? So that bothers me too. Like, if you want to go to pride, I feel like, obviously, unless you're going with bad intentions,
right?
Like, if you want to celebrate your LGBTQ friends and family members, you should probably. I'm speaking this as an ally. Like, I would love to go and celebrate, and I don't want to feel like I don't belong there.
Have you seen people that have said like, we don't want?
Yeah, like that. That's what I was talking about. But like I said, I'm glad we got on this bent because obviously that happened and I saw that too, and it's heartbreaking. But it's like, it's for some reason there's a lot of what you're talking about, like this hate. But on the other side, weirdly within the LGBTQ community itself, there is all of this gatekeeping that seems to be happening more so this year than other years. And that's why I was like, what's happening there?
I feel like sort of like in the Black community, you have these, which I feel like it's a healthy discourse, to figure out like what pride is, because the gay community has for a long time been struggling on what is pride, because pride was started as a rebellion, it started as a protest.
Yes.
And then as we've gained more rights and more acceptance, it turned into a party, and then it turned into a corporate sort of way for these corporations to advertise and to show their pride and to make a buck at the end of the day. That's what they're trying to do, but then also to show their LGBTQ members that, hey, we support you.
Yeah.
So it's like you can see both sides of the bent. But then I do feel like what's happening now is because things are getting so scary for gay people, it sometimes feels like, let's close ranks and just be amongst each other, because we feel like we've given out so much of our culture of Drag Race and the rainbow, and and then what's happened, I feel like, is because so many people after the past 2 years, like with the whole Bud Light thing and the with Dylan Mulvaney and the Kid Rock and all that stuff, and then with Target sort of pulling back and being like, well, since we've had some people say that they're offended by our pride stuff, some of our stores are going to do it and some of us are not. And I think what's happening and what you're seeing, Holly, is as gay people, we're like, wait a fucking minute. Y'all sit here and said for all these years now that we love pride, we love gay people, we love gay people. If you're going to stand up for gay people and be there for them, you can't just do it when it's convenient and when everybody is like, oh, we love you. You're going to do it in the tough times when people are saying dumb shit like, I'm uncomfortable by a fucking rainbow.
Right.
And now you're scared.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably where that is coming from, is people are like, they're sick of the performative support. And they're like, if you're going to support us 100%, just not when it's convenient and you can make a buck.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. But I also think there's some confusion about like what constitutes some of the letters, like I don't know why, but bisexuals always get shit on, stuff like that. So I'm hoping that if you are planning on supporting the LGBTQ community, you do so all year long,
right,
and not just in June, or not just because you think it makes you look a certain type of way or whatever.
right,
And that if you are a true supporter or in the community, you're welcome.
right.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. It's just been it's been a little bit, I don't know. I've just noticed it.
I mean, I've seen some gay people that I've wanted to engage with, who've said some not great things about trans people.
Right. That too. Oh, that too.
And
Yeah.
I'm like there's one person in particular who I know that he's probably would be a log cabin Republican. And that's like a segment of gays who are Republicans, who I still to this day can't do the mental gymnastics to understand that. But I respect you that, whatever it is. But this person, I know that they lean that way. And him and I have gone back and forth on social media very respectfully about stuff. But I've seen him post some things about trans not being a part of the community.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I'm just like, girl, what planet are you living on? Like, what the fuck? I don't get it. But here's the thing. This happens in every community, because in the gay, in the Black community, we have this when it comes to what is Black,
Right.
There's been some posts that I've seen of, a Black person that sounds like me, because we often make the joke on the show. But when you dig down to the root of it, it's like, why do you think that? They're like, oh, I didn't know Miguel was Black. He doesn't sound Black. And then we're like, that's so funny. But why do you think that?
What does that mean?
What does Black sound like?
Oh,
No, what?
I have
had
had that same exchange in South Florida.
Mm.
The same things you just said. I've had the same thing talked about a coworker who was Hispanic. He was Colombian.
Mm.
Oh, that. I'm like, no, tell me. In the middle of a fucking family party. And I didn't give a fuck. And I was like, nobody's listening. And I was like, fine, fuck it. I'll take it. Let's go. Round one.
I'm like, what does that mean? I don't sound Black. So there are things. I was talking about this with the girl that does my hair, because she has music on, and she had a bunch of like early 2000s and like the neo soul, like Jill Scott, Angie Stone, Maxwell, Music Soul Child. And I was saying how like sometimes as I've gotten older and neo soul isn't a big thing, and then hip hop started to like take place, and it's like now this current trend of hip hop, like I really don't see myself in. But back then I was like, yes, I was in touch with my roots and I felt Black. And then now I'm like, I don't feel Black sometimes, because I'm not really like, when you Travis Porter, that's a rapper's name?
I don't know. I'm not.
You asking the wrong.
Hold on, because I think he's coming here, and let me say,
Travis Scott?
Yeah, Travis Porter. Okay. And what Travis Scott, like that music I don't identify with. And so like sometimes when you read comments on some of the like Shade Room and stuff like that, and they'll be like, you ain't Black if you don't listen to this. And I'm like,
you're like, hello, I'm here.
I'm like, let's have a conversation about Black. So I say that to say that every group of minority has some sort of discourse where they're trying to find out who they are, what their beliefs are, and who can be in that group.
That makes sense. That makes sense. We can talk about
orgasms. I want to orgasm.
No, I ain't done. Orgasm. I got more shit to say.
Oh.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
You had a little something else.
I bet there's a little something.
You had a little something else. Come on, get it out. Get it out. Come on.
We might as well.
Yeah, girl. We're here.
Do you ever like have that moment where like you go number 2 and then like you like are about to be done and you're like, oh dang, I still need to pee. I need to sit back down. I'm not done yet.
I have
usually
sometimes
pee first.
Been all done, everything, number 2, whatever. And I get up and I'm like, I'm done. And like literally like 60 seconds later, I'm like, I'm not done. I have to pee.
Yeah, I gotta pee. Yeah.
I gotta pee bad. Like I need to find a toilet now until I can pee.
Yeah, there's more. There's more in the tank.
That's why I'm like, unless I pee, that's the fat lady singing. Unless I pee at the end of a number 2, I know it's not done.
Do you guys feel like the older you get, the more annoying it is to have to pee?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
because
'Cause I
I
pee
can't
more
go to
often.
sleep. I
Oh,
can't go to
no.
sleep if
Oh,
there is a
yeah,
little
no.
tinkle in the
No,
tank.
Yeah.
I
yes,
can't.
no, can't
I
do it.
have to.
I've
My-
literally like laid down and been like, ooh, and I'll go to the bathroom and there's literally just like a drop.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yes.
okay, now I can go to
Why?
sleep.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Is it our bodies are aging? Is that what it is?
Maybe that's what it is.
And I wake up in the middle of the night because it's like I have to pee.
Yeah.
I cannot
And I
continue
don't
this
want
sleep.
to. Like
Mhm.
sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I was kidding myself. No, the fuck I wasn't. How else am I gonna wake up out of a dead ass sleep because I have to pee? And then I look at my phone and I'm like, if it's within 15 minutes of my alarm going off, I'm like, I'm not going. I refuse to get up. I will lay here and have to
Yes.
pee only
Yes.
so I don't have to leave my bed. And then it's a struggle.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
This morning I
God.
woke up around 12:15 and I was like, my stomach was like, oh, you gotta go, girl. You got a number 2. And that rarely happens. But this morning, but when I woke up, I didn't know what time it was. And I just assumed, because usually if I wake up before my alarm, it's because I gotta go use the bathroom. And I was like, oh, it must be 3:30 or 3:15. And it was 12:30.
Damn.
I was like mad, but happy
But
that I had
also
more
happy.
time, because then I was worried that like I had to go to the bathroom. And so I'm like, God, I hope I can fall back asleep, because now I'm like awake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
you gotta
isn't-
move muscles.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't usually ever go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
No, neither do I, but I had some wings last night that I think got me.
My bitch can eat.
That's what it is.
You know what I try to do if it's in the middle of the night? Try to do as least amount of lights, of movement.
Oh yeah,
Right.
you gotta just shuffle along.
Don't bring
the floor.
my phone. But
Right.
the minute that I do something a little too extra, that's it. It's a wrap. It's gonna take an hour and a half for me to go back.
100%. That's why I was like, dang, I had to turn the lights on.
Oh,
And then I took my
shoot.
phone in, because this was like a minute.
It was like a
minute.
commitment.
So then I was like, all right. Then I went back to bed and I laid down. I'm like, fuck. I can't turn my audiobook on because Abe's in the bed now. And now I'm just going to sit here and look.
Did you fall back asleep?
I did, thankfully.
Oh,
But then when I woke up at 3:15, I was like real tired.
Yes.
These are not the types of conversations we had in the 2015 podcast. I just want to point that out. They are not. They are not.
Almost 10 years of Miguel and Holly Uncensored. Look at that.
I know. All right, so that was a nice intermediary conversation. Go on, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Or you're done.
No,
or-
that was it. I think
Oh.
I think I've peed it all out now. I think
I have to actually pee again. I have peed about 5 times in the last 30 minutes. I have
You
to
must
pee.
have been drinking a lot of water.
Not that much. These are like the 16 ounces. They're not even that. And then I
Have you had more than
this.
one of those?
I had this.
Oh.
No, I've
LaCroix.
only had one.
Mm.
I've only had one today.
What the hell? Are you getting it all out though?
No, he's probably just doing it real quick, not even shaking it.
No,
You gotta,
they're
like,
long
get in
ones.
there.
They're long streams.
Oh my God, nobody wants to hear this podcast.
Some levity, people. Come on.
Oh my
Let's
God.
laugh a little bit. You know, it's Friday.
Oh.
It's Friday.
It's Friday, bitch.
Okay, real quick. Let's talk about orgasms before we need to go.
That's what I was saying.
So what survey I found was that men get in their head about women when they're having the sex,
Having a sex.
because what they've seen on porn is women are like screaming and yelling and all this stuff. And so in real life, what they were saying in this survey is that women, as they get closer to climaxing, they get quiet and it's more internalized. And it's
You gotta focus, okay?
right.
Really?
And so men are like,
Focus.
wait, am I doing it? Okay. Like, is she actually enjoying this because it's quiet? And so on the air, it was way more sanitized on the air.
Well, obviously.
But I was asking Holly, like, is that true that for women, you truly are reaching the top of the mountain when you're mostly quiet?
Yeah, and I said yes. For me, obviously, I can't speak for every woman because every woman is going to be different. But I feel like I would maybe wager to say a majority, and that doesn't have to be a huge majority, but a majority of women would say the same because it is so much of a woman's orgasm is mental. Like, yes, it's physical, but it's also mental. Like, your mind has to be right in order for that all to happen. Like, the way our bodies are made, the way everything is, it's just that way. Like, everything has to be like interlocked, right? And so I was like, it really sucks what porn has done.
Right.
For men and women, because it has set unrealistic expectations for both. And porn, the whole point of porn is to just be crazier and crazier and crazier until you can get into some really fucked up shit, but everyone has been desensitized to like, what is it really like to have like a pretty normal, but like fantastically normal sex session.
Right.
And so, yeah, all of these crazy ass noises, you know.
Well, and I think for men, because we're such, sorry. No, it doesn't matter. Just something on the TV caught my attention as I like looked up for a brief second to catch my thought. I think what it does is for men, because we're such visual, auditory creatures, that is probably where it was born, and now it just sort of has like jumped the shark to where it's like, because like if I ever on my alt Twitter where I watch my adult material, and then like every now and then, because since Twitter's turned into X, like random stuff that you don't follow will pop into it, and I'm like, I did not follow that account.
Like pop culture news. And I'm like, that is not what I'm on here for.
I'm like, I don't want to see about Lady Gaga right now in the next 5 minutes. Like, I have a particular thing I am trying to accomplish, and it is not reading about Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Okay. But I do. Well, so when I have come across these things for straight people, and I'll be like, why is she screaming like that? Like, because did guys find that attractive? Like, it sounds like she's in pain.
Right.
Like, that does not sound auditorily appealing.
That's why I hate straight porn, by the way, because it is made completely for men.
Right.
Like, I don't know a single woman who that porn is made for, because it looks painful.
Yes.
And it looks ridiculous. Like, it looks fucking ridiculous. And I'm like, get out of here. I really don't get into porn anymore. I used to, I dabbled here and there with watching it over the course of my life, but like, I really don't do it much anymore. And so, or at all. I mean, it's been a long time, but it would just be so fucking stupid. And I'm like, this is not for me.
No.
So
I can't with this.
So you could sit here and say when a woman is moaning like that, it's 90%
not real.
And
then, and so I would watch lesbian porn. And so that was great for a while. But then even that porn started getting a little like wild as well.
Because they probably start making it for men, where it's like lesbian porn, but for men.
Right.
But make it for men. And I'm like watching these two women. I'm like, stop it. And maybe that's why I was like, this is all of it is fucking stupid. I can do a better job in my own damn head.
Did you ever like watching gay porn?
Who, me? Like with men?
Miguel, I'm sure he does, but you, yeah. Like as a woman who's attracted to men.
Never. I would never look that up.
Never.
I would.
No,
never
I feel like that would be way too forceful and just aggressive.
It's too aggressive.
I was just curious. Like, I wonder if there's a woman out there that's like, I like it.
I'm sure. I don't know if I'm like most women.
I feel like I've met a woman before who liked. I'm trying to remember her name, but it was like years ago. I think it was probably at like a Franklin Manor, one of those nights where we were talking. We were like drunk, and she was like, "I like watching gay porn. I like what," and I was like,
"Got it, okay."
I remember in college, one of my friends, we were talking about gay sex, and I was describing a session I'd had, and she was like, "Wait, you can do it in that position?" And I was like, yeah, girl, we can. Anyway, you can do it. We can do it too. And she was like, stop it. I just thought y'all could only do it like one way. And I was like, girl,
I think that's a pretty common misperception.
Right. Which, if you've never seen it and you don't know, that makes total sense. And I was like, girl, come here, come to my dorm room. I got tons to show you. Because remember, I just gotten high-speed internet, girl. So that LimeWire was hot.
Oh, LimeWire.
Girl, the line into my HP computer was smoking hot.
LimeWire. Oh, you gotta be so careful with LimeWire too.
Fucking DVD special, bitch.
Girl, back in the day, honey, I would go to class in the morning and I'd be like, dude, this. I'd have 10 videos downloaded. And I'd get back and be like, I got a treat for this afternoon, girl.
Well, shouts out to that.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Viruses.
Literally.
Yes.
But then I brought it to the dorm room and I was like, here, let me show you. And I will just never forget.
I can imagine.
Like 20 seconds in, I was like, I think I've made a grave error. Because her face was just like, oh my God, what is he doing to him? I'm like, well, okay, hold on. Let me show you something a little more
same.
And she was like, I don't that looks very uncomfortable.
What were you showing her?
I don't remember. Like, I don't
know. Anyway,
right.
yeah, I have absolutely zero interest in watching two men. None. In fact, I don't want to see men at all in my porn experience. I don't want it. I'm not interested. So, but I don't really watch it anymore. But yeah, so that's why I'm like, for some reason, I think that, and obviously this is not all men, and like there's like a by and large thing where like men don't really understand sex from the women's perspective. And I think that has to do with porn, and I think that has to do with sex education being lacking, and I mean, I didn't even understand about female orgasms until I was like 22.
And what's sad is I was watching, I have the TV on in here on the WCNC Charlotte, our local NBC affiliate, and one of their headlines this morning was they're debating right now in the North Carolina legislature of furthering and making it a top lesson in sex ed, abstinence, and just being like, that is the top thing for sex education.
Oh God, no,
abstinence.
That's the worst. That's the worst, because nobody doesn't want to have sex.
I was like,
that's how you get all these teen births, and like the whole thing with teaching abstinence. Of course, kids are going to do it anyway, but then they're doing it without any knowledge, and then you've got all these pregnancy and all these STDs, and of course the abortion laws being what they are. It's just, oh my God, it is a fucking nightmare. Educate people. Why don't people want to educate people? People hate education. They fucking hate education.
Because you can manipulate the uneducated.
Absolutely. And then they want you to accidentally get pregnant, to be honest, probably. More babies to be more workers or whatever. I don't know. Sometimes I get real turned up about this shit. But it's like, sure, offer abstinence as an option.
Right.
But like, explain to kids, not like, like the age appropriate kids, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it would probably be for most, like, my daughter just went through like a family life course, like a week-long thing at the end of 5th grade. And I have a feeling most people also would say if they had some sort of sex education, it started in like the end of 5th grade and then maybe in middle school.
Yeah.
So like age appropriateness for this, of course, obviously. But tell people what happens really, like, and give them options. Like,
that's why when I saw that this morning, I was like, why? I mean, not why. Well, it was just like, okay, this is just the continuation of, let's just dumb down the people and just like let
I guess so.
Man.
Well, it's religiously rooted.
Yeah,
that's
what it comes down to.
I just caught Rebecca Brunson's comment about she's saying that porn plays a role, but also us women not owning our sexuality. So many women are worried to let their freak flag fly and just accept not being satisfied. Tell your partner what you like. If you're comfortable enough to have sex, you should be comfortable enough to say what you want. Yes, all yes, except for women don't know what they like. Because no one has told women that sex can be pleasurable, and that's rooted in religion, where sex is only for making babies, and it's something that you have to do to keep your man satisfied. So no one's ever worried about what sex should feel like for women.
Right.
Like, I'll tell you, because I mean, Maya was going through it, like I said, a few weeks ago at the end of school. And obviously, at no point did they talk about it being pleasurable for anybody. Right. Although they did say that, like, the stimulation for a man causes ejaculation, and that's how the sperm gets into the vagina and thus goes to the egg. And so even just by nature of it, you have to talk about the man being stimulated enough. Right. And so, obviously, Maya was very confused, and it's like, not laughing at her at all, but it's like kids wouldn't know. And she's like, well, how do you control it? And like, how does that even work? And so we actually need to pick back up on this conversation. I forgot because something happened and we never got to finish it. But like, well, it's very pleasurable, for a man. And so, but it at nowhere in any of the teachings, especially if you're looking at it through the religious, a religious lens, nowhere does it mention that this should be pleasurable for women.
Right.
You talk about love, commitment, honor, integrity, the fact that it's going to lead to a baby, responsibility. I grew up literally never being talked to about it being pleasurable for me. So I didn't know. And I think that that's because this country was founded on Puritanism.
Oh, 100%.
So to her point.
And then when the medical field started to take root, it all of a sudden, women were out of the delivery rooms and they were out of the infirmary or whatever, like back in the day. And it was just like men guessing on what women could do and with the pain tolerance and all that stuff. And so all of that is rooted in that. And then it just leads to this like, well, just don't have sex. And when you do, it's for marriage and you're just having it for babies.
Right.
There you go.
And you should do it because men need it. And so you make yourself available. Okay.
Happy Friday, yo.
Ugh. Now, see, I feel like now I'm on my soapbox. I'm angry. It's fine.
I'm just here for a good time.
My fiance and I had a whole argument about the patriarchy, and I'm just like, I do my best to just keep this between me and TikTok, but sometimes it pops out in the real life, and so
as it should.
I get it.
People need to know.
I know. Anyway,
Kelvin, what's your social media?
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, but I really just use Instagram. So follow me there. I will give you all the content that you want and crave.
Do you really?
I do. You know what's funny? Yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess, when I talked about the Bussy Killer on PlayStation Network, I got a new friend ad.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Oh, was it?
I don't know who it is. I never know because they too have funny, or whatever.
Yeah, it's just it's a handle.
Yes, unique handles. So I'm not sure, but when I find the name, I'll let you know. Shout out to them.
Holly?
Radio Holly. All the things. But again, I would say most active on Instagram. That's where you can reach me best.
Mine is at Miguel Fuller. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you back here on Monday. Bye.